that thing now. Ooh, wait now. Bring it back now.
That's perfect. So as you said, Unisa helped you to find yourself, right? So I want you to tell me what really inspired you guys to venture in podcast, because to me, I believe that media is diverse. We can do different things. It's not like when you're a medicine doctor, you can just go to a doctor, or maybe you specialize in brain, for example, or you specialize in eyes and something like that. You don't have a specific specialties. We had a lot of things that we can do with our qualification. So what really inspired you guys to choose podcasting?
So it was like breaking down layers. For me, I started just being into like journalism, finding out like what is the root cause of some things like politics and all that. So with me, I started creating my own online magazine, and then I actually talked to her about it, right? And then we started like having a conversation about it. So when we started having those type of conversations, it was like, I think we should actually implement something that could give voices to the youth, because like a lot of people in the youth segment feel very unjust or feel like life is very unfair. So I just wanted it just to start it with my friends, so we can create a platform where youth can actually give voices of their struggles, their concerns, the things that they like, and we just incorporate all those things into like a media hub, and just giving a platform for young kids to come through and share their thoughts, share what's going through their lives. So other people who are actually viewing our content can also look at that as an inspiration. Like I can also start something, just seeing my age mates, doing this, and then they can also do their thing.
Oh, that's so perfect.
Right.
Yeah. So, Kamva, tell me, this name, it's so unique. Straight Outta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so unique. What really inspired you guys to name your podcast Straight Outta?
Okay, well, Straight Outta Sunnyside is, as like the name of it, is very much different, right? Simply because everyone that is in Sunnyside is having like different languages, different, they're mostly very diverse, and they are here for a reason, right? So for us to name Straight Outta Sunnyside, it's because it's very much diverse. We want to know what other people are thinking about. We want to know about the experiences they got when they were here, maybe first week or second week in a year, what happened and how they were able to maneuver their lives in Sunnyside. I think that's the reason why we called it Straight Outta Sunnyside.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
we
nice.
also picked it because of like the name Sunnyside has like a very bad connotation. When you think Sunnyside, a lot of people think about like bad things happening, right?
Yeah.
So we also wanted just to look at the positive aspect of Sunnyside. Like there's youth here, we're trying to build things here,
Yeah.
There's business entrepreneurship, So we look at that positive aspect of Sunnyside as well.
Okay, that's so beautiful, guys. So tell me, which topics that you guys really focus on? I hear you talking about youth, and are you guys really focusing on youth only, or you do have some topics that can cater us? Like, I'm not youth, I think I'm old. So do you have such topics that I can listen to as a hot man, right? That's the right way that people use in the street. So which topics that you guys really focus on?
We like, for our basis, I don't think we have a specific topic that we focus on. And like catering to other audiences, we do have like things that we talk about that do cater for other audiences, such as marriages, feminism, like activism, politics, the economy. We do go boring sometimes, but we try to also balance it. Like, what is entertaining and what can people actually learn from what we are actually saying in the podcast and stuff.
Yeah, and again, there was this other podcast that we once had where I was asked, would you rather choose to be rich and happy, or poor and, sad? And it was one of the, it was very, people were asking me, why would you choose being poor? Like, you know, you are able to communicate with people and they're able to talk to you and come up with their viewpoints. Good to know, man. Being poor and happy is actually something different, you know. And again, the childhood thing, you know, the experiences that you get from the childhood and how you grow up being this person as you are, based on the childhood that you know, the places that you grew up on, and, you know, whatever the experiences again. Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting topic that we're having with Kamva and Nhleleko. The final year student, Nhleleko, he is doing his BA in communications, and then Kamva, right? Is that right? She's doing her PR, and she's also a final year student here in Unisa. They had their own podcast where they talk about issues that affect youth. But don't go away, because this is still going to get interesting. So we're going to have some questions that we're going to ask them. But for now, please, let's go straight to news headlines.
News headlines on Unisa Radio.
Headlines at 2:30. 6 killed in weekend shootings across Cape Town amid rising violence. Parliamentary committee to discuss letter from Thabo Bester amid corruption probe. Former SAPS task force officer charged with murder of key witness. More details at the top of the hour.
It's the Lunchtime Affair on Unisa Radio.
Welcome back, and it's 2:30, if I'm right, if my time is right here. But I hope you didn't go away. We still have Nhleleko and Kamva still talking about student voice in media. We're creating space for young conversation through podcasting. So, I have this question for both of you guys, right? So, I want to know, since you guys are students and you're final year students, not just students, final year students. Yeah. And I want you guys, after answering this question, I want you guys to also highlight how you guys feeling, because you guys already have experience. This is an experience that you guys have created for yourself. You didn't wait for any government initiatives or whatever we should name them. There are a lot. But you guys also have this experience where you are able to talk on air. You are able to ask questions, to produce for the show what you want to talk about and stuff like that. That's an experience on its own. So I love that. So I want you guys to tell me, as students, how do you balance academic and podcasting, right? And what are the challenges that you guys are facing in that you are faced in creating and maintaining the podcast?
I think it's just time and scheduling. That's like the first one that we have to balance, because like sometimes I would have like an assignment due whatever day, and I would also have to shoot like a podcast on the same exact day. So it's like a lot of balancing. So if I'm not prepared beforehand for this assignment or this podcast, like if that day comes, I would have like a lot to deal with, So I would say it's just balancing like your time and your schedule, because it does get a lot. Because with the podcast, it also takes us to spaces like clubs and whatever. So we have to like maneuver through that. So sometimes you don't even have time for yourself just to breathe, So yeah.
Well, with me, balancing academic and podcasting, it has been a bit challenging. Simply because, as Nhlek said, it's about time and management and everything like that. For me, I have to write things before I got to anything that is, when it comes to going on air or something like that. I have to do a research, and I have to make sure everything is okay. And with everything that I do, I have to make sure I am able to think and have like my own viewpoints on other things, right?
I can even see there you have your book pen.
I had to have like a rush of something and write something about it, So with me writing these things, it's me having to prepare myself mentally, even if the questions are not going to be the same, I'll be able to know, to see what am I going to be saying or something like that. It's preparation, right? And again, with academics, I have to make sure my schoolwork is actually on point before the due date or anything like that, so that I can be able to go for podcast if I have to. And again, studying again, when I come back from the podcast and everything, I have to come back and study, or I have to chat with my podcast group, I have to chat with okay guys, there's something like this that's happening, stuff, how do we fix it and stuff like that. I think that's how I balance it.
That's so good. So guys, since you guys have seen, podcasting became a powerful platform for young voice. We can highlight so much podcasting that have made waves in South Africa. The one that I like a lot is McG.
Of course, you would say that.
Yes, because I've been following McG since he was in radio. He was one of the people that I used to listen to. And seeing him transit from being in radio to podcast, it have also taught me that in this age you need to change, to go with time, right? So I want to ask you guys, how are you guys planning to have your podcast? Because now what I'm trying to say is that you both students, and here in Unisa in Sunnyside, you are final year students. So the challenge that you might have is that Kamva can get a job in Durban, right? You can get a job in Cape Town, right? Yeah. So what would you guys do with that regards when it comes to your podcast?
So as you said, you talked about MacG and you talked about adaptability. Yeah. I feel like every place you go or the environment you might experience, it's like you have to adapt to it. So if it's like that, if we're in different environments, I do still think we could make the podcast work. We could schedule for weekends if I'm not working and come back. So I like what you said about adaptability, right? Like it's like how we even started the podcast. Like we started it just in like a room, like my friend's room.
That's
we
beautiful.
Just had mics, so like we have a camera. Let's just start there. And we started like that, and like every week would come in. Some episodes wouldn't even air out. Oscar, because the sound is bad. There's the recording didn't record. Something might have happened, technical difficulties. Yeah. But we still adapted. We told ourselves that this is our start. This is our starting point, but it doesn't mean this.
Don't stop that thing now.